Hello students, it is class 10. Today just we have to study about elementary canal. I have taught already about the digestive system, In digestive system just we have to study about elementary canal, digestive gland and the process of digestion. About digestive glands just I have taught already. So today just we have to study about elementary canal. What is elementary canal? Just it is a tube-like structure in which the process of digestion is completed. Okay. So today we will see what are the different parts of elementary canal. Okay. First of all, you should know what is the length of elementary canal. The length of elementary canal is about 9 meter. According to some books, it is 8 to 10 meter long. Okay, and just we will see what are the different parts of elementary canal. Just I am going to write here. Okay, first of all, buccal cavity. Buccal cavity. After that, pharynx. After that, esophagus. Esophagus. After that, stomach. After that, small intestine. And after that, large intestine. Okay, and we can write anus also. So we are seeing here these are different parts of elementary canal. Means we can say elementary canal begins from buccal cavity. Okay, it is also known as oral cavity. This buccal cavity opens into a common space that is called pharynx. Inside the buccal cavity, 3 pairs of salivary glands are present, and just I have said these salivary glands release a special type of juice that is called salivary juice, and in this salivary juice a special type of enzyme that is called ptyalin enzyme is present, which breaks starch into maltose. So we can say the process of digestion begins from the buccal cavity. Okay, so after that, means after buccal cavity, pharynx comes. What is pharynx? It is a common space where both buccal cavity and nasal cavity meet. Okay, this is the reason due to which when we can say while or during eating, when you are eating and at that time of eating, if a sneezing takes place, then some amount of rice comes into the nasal cavity, because nasal cavity and buccal cavity both meet at a place, and the name of that common place is pharynx. Okay, this pharynx opens into a tube-like structure which is 25 centimeter long. This tube-like structure is called esophagus, and you should know in esophagus the process of digestion does not take place. It always, or we can say, it passes the food from buccal cavity to the stomach. So what is the function of the esophagus? Esophagus passes food from buccal cavity to the stomach, and inside the esophagus the process of digestion does not take place. Okay, after that, this esophagus opens into a widest area that is called stomach. You should know stomach is the widest part of the alimentary canal, and it is J in shape. In the wall of the stomach, a special type of glands are present that is called gastric gland, and this gland releases a special type of juice that is called gastric juice. In this gastric juice, a number of enzymes are present. When food reaches into the stomach, then this gastric juice mixes with that food, and the various enzymes which is present in that gastric juice start to digest the various components of the food. Okay. After that, from stomach we can say longest tube-like structure arises that is called small intestine. What is the length of small intestine? A small intestine is 6 to 7.5 meter long according to different books. In some books it is written that the length of small intestine is 6 meter, whereas in another book it is written that it is of 6.5. In some books it is written the length of the small intestine is 7 to 7.5. So we can say the length of small intestine is 6 to 7.5 meter. Means it varies from 6 to 7.5. Okay. Now, you should know a small intestine has three parts, in which first part is called duodenum, which is 25 centimeter long. After that, ileum and jejunum. Means you can say, just I am going to write here, a small intestine is made of three parts, and the first part is called duodenum. Duodenum. Okay. Second is called jejunum. Jejunum. And third part is called ileum. Ileum. Okay. So a small intestine has three parts, in which first part is called duodenum, second is called jejunum, and third is called ileum. What is the length of duodenum? Is it 25 centimeter long? What is the length of jejunum? It is 2.5 meter long. And what is the length of ileum? It is 3.5 meter long. So in this way we can say a small intestine is made of three parts, in which first part is called duodenum, second part is called jejunum, and third part is called ileum. What is the length of the duodenum? The length of duodenum is 25 centimeter. What is the length of jejunum? 2.5 meter. And what is the length of ileum? 3.5 meter. Okay. After that, just we should know one thing more. What is the diameter of a small intestine? The diameter of a small intestine is 25 centimeter. Okay. So after a small intestine, 1.5 meter long tubular structure rises, and this 1.5 meter long tubular structure is called large intestine. Large intestine also has three parts. Just I am going to write here. The first part is called cecum. Spelling C-A-E-C-U-M. Cecum. Second is colon. C-O-L-O-N. And third is rectum. Okay. So we can say large intestine has three parts, in which first part is called cecum, second is called colon, and third is called rectum. What is cecum? It is the first part of large intestine where a small intestine comes and mix with the large intestine. Okay. And you should know from cecum, or we can say a 2 centimeter long structure arises, that is called vermiform appendix, and this vermiform appendix is called the vestigial organ. What is the vestigial organ? Means those organs which are present in our body but does not or do not perform any function are called vestigial organs, like nictitating membrane, coccygeal bone, which is also known as tailbone. After that, wisdom teeth, and vermiform appendix. These are the some vestigial organs which are present in our body. What are vestigial organs? Once again listen. Those organs which are present in our body but do not perform any function are called vestigial organs, in which vermiform appendix is the one. Vermiform appendix is the part of large intestine, and from cecum part of the large intestine it is connected. Okay. And it does not help in the process of digestion. Okay. And just I am going to say, when food enters into the small intestine, about a small intestine, just you know it has three parts. So when food enters into the small intestine, then bile juice from liver and pancreatic juice from pancreas come together in the duodenum part of the small intestine and get mixed with the food, and the various components which are present in the bile juice and pancreatic juice start to digest the various components of the food. Okay. And after that we can say the process of digestion is completed into the small intestine, and after the process of, and we can say after the completion of the process of digestion, digested food materials get absorbed by the many finger-like projections present in the inner wall of the small intestine. These finger-like projections are called villi. So these villi increase the surface area for the process of absorption. Okay. And after that, undigested food material entered into the large intestine, in the first part of the large intestine, that is cecum, and from cecum it finally reaches to the rectum through or via colon. Okay. When undigested food material enters into the rectum, then the water which is present in the undigested food material gets absorbed by the wall of the rectum, and after that finally undigested food material removes to the outside of the body, and this process is called egestion. Okay. So in this way alimentary canal is completed. Once again just I am going to repeat it. Alimentary canal, it is the part of digestive system. It begins from buccal cavity and ends at the anus. Okay. the different parts which are present in alimentary canal are just written on the board. First is buccal cavity, second is pharynx, third is esophagus, fourth is stomach, fifth is small intestine, sixth is large intestine, and after that anus. Okay, the process of digestion begins from the buccal cavity. Okay, with the help of ptyalin enzyme. Ptyalin enzyme is also known as salivary amylase. Okay, after that buccal cavity opens into a common space that is called pharynx. It is a common space because here buccal cavity and nasal cavity both meet. Okay, after that pharynx opens into a tube-like structure. The length of esophagus is about 25 centimeters. Okay, and this esophagus helps in we can say inside the esophagus the process of digestion does not take place. It passes food from buccal cavity to the stomach. Okay, after that stomach is the widest part of the alimentary canal. It is J in shape. Okay, and when food enters into the stomach, then the gastric juice gets mixed with the food, and the various enzymes which are present in the gastric juice acts on different components of the food. Okay, after that from stomach food enters into the small intestine. When food enters into the first part of the small intestine that is called duodenum, then bile juice from liver and pancreatic juice from pancreas come together okay, into the duodenum and gets mixed with the food, and the various components of various enzymes which are present in the pancreatic juice start to digest the various component of the food. What are the various enzymes which are present in the pancreatic juice? Just I have taught already, and just I have taught that bile juice does not perform directly in the process of digestion because in bile juice no enzymes are present. Okay. After that the process, one thing you should know, after the completion of the function of bile juice and pancreatic juice, a special type of secretion comes that is called intestinal juice. Intestinal juice is also known as succus entericus. This succus entericus is secreted by the Brunner's gland which are present in the wall of duodenum and ileum. So these secretion means intestinal juice, which is also known as succus entericus, comes into the duodenum and mix with the food, and the various components, various enzymes which are present in the succus entericus act on the different or various parts or various components of the food. Okay, so in this way in a small intestine the process of digestion is completed. Okay, and after the completion of the process of digestion, digested food materials gets absorbed by the villi. Villi are the finger-like projections which increase the surface area for the process of absorption. And finally, undigested food material enters into the large intestine through cecum and colon. It finally enters into the rectum, where the water which is present in the undigested food material gets absorbed by the wall of the rectum, and finally undigested food material removed to the outside of the body. So in this way, today just I have completed nutrition topic. Okay, from next day we will start second topic, that is respiration. Okay, thank you. चलिए आप बैठिए निकलते हैं।